Hatepu, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Haru Nefer. This is Kasank Keperu with another exciting video for you. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Maat book club is here, which is really great news. But before I do that, I would like you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. And if you're interested in more information on my teachings, I do have free ebooks for you. You can download them and start reading them today. Scroll down, click on the links below, and you can start getting deeper down that rabbit hole with the spiritual teachings. And if you want to take your spiritual journey to the next level, you can become a Patreon supporter. We have a lot of good things going on there. As a supporter, you get exclusive access to all kinds of videos on how to meditate, how to invoke spirits, how to do self-hypnosis, how to do divination, oracles. And if you are an Acer level supporter, you'll get all your oracle readings for free. And this is where we're going to be having the Maat book club. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. So become a Patreon supporter. Again, you can do so for as little as $1, $5, $20 per month. It's up to you. There's no obligation. All right. So, and you can cancel anytime. Last but not least, share this video with family and friends so we can get the revolution started. So hetapu to all of you out there, all of you Assyrians who aspire to have the God within you rise. You know what's very interesting? I've been meditating a lot and really doing a lot of astral projection and getting into the no-thingness state of mind and trance state. That's the state where you experience no thoughts. You just understand that you exist. That's it. No thoughts, no ideas, no anything. Just awareness that you exist. And I remember happened a couple of times, you know, getting woken in the middle of the night, tossing and turning. And then there's a mirror directly faces my bed. And I recall myself looking into that mirror and feeling a presence in my room and feeling a presence within me. And it was really, really peculiar and odd because I've been experiencing that for the last couple of months and off and on. And it's not a disturbing experience, but I was perplexed and finally asked myself, I said, self, what is this presence? Who is this? And then I realized what it was. I said, well, is this because of the herbs I'm taking, or is this because of the meditation I'm doing? Where is this coming from? But the issue is not the herbs or the meditations. I came to the realization that the presence that I felt was God within me, Oser. I was getting to a level of experiencing myself, understanding that who I was not the physical body, the Sahu nature, the animal spirit, that I was now in contact with my divine self, or some call the higher mind. I was experiencing God within me. That presence I felt was God. And it was a wonderful feeling because I had there a division between the self and the person being the animal spirit, the Sahu nature, and the true self being Oser. And I was like flabbergasted. I was like, wow, Dwa'u Nate, thank you for this experience. Thank you for being able to experience you. Thank you for coming to the forefront so that I may know that you exist within my person, that you are not an exterior thing on the outside that I have to placate myself to, that I have to fear, that I have to do right or you will come down with brimstone and fire. I now know that you are within me and you make your presence known through me because you are consciousness within me. And that awareness that I had was the awareness of the all-presence, all-seeing eye, the Uchat, that God is watching me, God is with me, that there is no fear, there's no anguish, that God's presence is here. Do not look for God in the external world and pray and say, oh God, if you only deliver me or answer my prayers. God is within you, and God will make itself known if you try to live righteous. Notice I didn't say live righteous. I said you try to live righteous, Maat, because God is a loving God. God knows that you're trying to do the best that you can, and God will assist you and work with you. So when you say, I say try to live righteous, I say live Maat, live truth. And Maat is my mother. I remember before I got into the priesthood, before I knew anything about Kemetic culture, because at that time I wasn't into Egyptology or Egypt, I just didn't like it. I worked at a stockbroker's firm, very conservative, oppressive environment. And now they know not to do that because people don't like working in those type of oppressive environments and people are not machines. I remember putting up a picture of Maat on my desk. Didn't know anything about Maat much, but I knew enough to put her up there. And then, of course, the boss asked me to take it down. And I was like, all right, I'll take it down. And shortly thereafter, I got into the priesthood. And then the priestesses do the readings for you. And she did my reading. The first reading she did was the reading on if I should be accepted into the priesthood, which the oracle said yes. The next reading was my destiny reading. Why was I here? The next reading was my clan meeting. The next reading was my sun and moon reading. And the priestess comes back to me with her book. She was carrying, I remember seeing her, she was carrying all her books like this. And then she sat down and she says, okay, I've got your reading. It's very peculiar, but it's okay. I said, oh, do I have a dark deceased? Do I have a Nekabet Wajet reading negativity? She goes, no, none of that. I said, okay, then what's the deal? She says, well, your destiny is Ma'at Hetep. You must live truth in this life. I said, oh, wow. Yeah, I like Ma'at. I'm down with her. Yeah, I'm down with her. Okay. She says, well, there's more. I said, oh, here's bad news. She goes, no, bad news. She goes, your clan is Ma'at. I said, oh, clan, I got Ma'at too. That clan is your natal personality traits. It's the traits that you exhibit the most. I said, really? Okay. All right. That's cool. Let's go to the astrology aspect. What's my sun sign? She goes, oh, it's Maat. I said, huh? She goes, yeah. What's my moon? Oh, that's Maat too. I was like, holy smokes. I said, is this unusual to have Maat all over the place? She goes, yeah, it's been unusual, but what God is trying to tell you is you must live truth. You must live truth in this lifetime. It's more important for you than anyone else. And I was like, wow, I got Maat over the place, man. And then Maat came to me and she says, hey, hi there, Kasank, I'm your mother. And I'm going to watch over you and make sure you're living truth. I said, okay. I said, I don't know though, but I've been thinking about this other professions I can get into that are really cool. She goes, no. You don't understand. There's no other professions where you get into. You're going to be a priest. I said, huh? She goes, yes, because that priest will get you, as a priest, will get you to live truth. I was like, oh, okay. So I guess I should stay in priesthood and study the Kemetic spiritual system and all that. She goes, yeah, you got the point now. You got the point. I said, well, yeah, I'm not really feeling this Egypt thing, and I'm not into the whole Egypt thing. She goes, it's okay, because your essential nature is amen, at peace. You have no likes. You have no dislikes. You can learn to like it. I said, I can learn to like something? And she goes, oh, yeah, let me introduce you to Heru. She's the goddess of joy and love and harmony. She will teach you how to express joy for anything. Really? Yeah. And she says, also, you should think about polygamous relationship. I said, really? Never thought about that. She goes, yeah, you should think about that because that's sharing love. That's a Maat thing. So you need to think about that. It'll work for you. I said, oh, okay. Never thought about it, but I'll give it some consideration. And then she was like, you also need to think about your diet. And then she's like, oh, okay, are we going to run down a list here? Is that what's going on here? She goes, yeah. We're going to clean your life up. And I was like, Dua. I'm ready for this. And that's how I began the journey. You see, many people don't understand Ma'at. I see a lot of women walk around, they call themselves Ma'at, and they think that they our living truth by reading a bit of the Kemetic spiritual system and understanding Maat. Maat is the living of truth. Maat is not the intellectual understanding of truth. That's Sebek. See, Sebek is left brain information. Sebek is segregated thinking, linear thinking. Sebek is information. Sebek likes to possess information and become book knowledgeable. But Maat lives truth. Maat is truth. Maat is truth, justice, righteousness, balance, harmony, reciprocity, love, abundance. All of the above. But again, when the Egyptologists came to Kemet and they started to look for a holy Bible, a Bible of truth and laws, they couldn't find it. So they said, these people have no religion. They didn't have a religion. They had a spiritual system. But they did find one thing. They did find the 42 negative confessions of Maat, the 42 admonitions of Maat that you confess when you go to the hall of Maati. And then those plagiarists, devils, copied a couple of them, just about a couple of them, say about 10 of them, and called it the 10 Commandments of God. God saith to thou or thee, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, thou shalt not plagiarize. Oh, no, sorry. Let's get that one out there. Get that one out there quick. Yes. Yes. No. Huh? What? This sounds like the 42 negative confessions of Maat. No, these are directly from God, the I am that I am, the God of Moses, the 10 Commandments, with Charlton Heston and all that. Has nothing to do with Maat 42 negative confessions, even though Maat predates the 10 Commandments. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting that they stole the Kemetic spiritual system? Sigmund Freud is famous for his cigar, famous for saying everything's sexual, studied ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt, and extrapolated from it much of his philosophy. Got it wrong, though. Got into the id, the ego, and the superego. We did the Ba, the Ka, the Ab, the Shechem, the Sahu. So he got a lot of things wrong, but that's okay. So you see, they couldn't find strict laws because the left brain works on a paradigm. It works on a precedent. It has to have a paradigm from which to operate. The right brain, which keys into Ma'at synthesis thinking, is dynamic. It can go with the flow. It doesn't need books on living truth, because to know truth, you must live life. See, Christians think you walk around and you do good. God rewards you. God wants you to do good. No. You're supposed to do good because you're divine by nature. You were made in the likeness of God. Let us make man in our own image. You get no brownie points. You get no points, extracurricular activity or whatever. You get no additional points for being good, for doing what you should always be doing in the first place. And that's a superficial way of thinking. To go through this life to think, I just must do good. No, truth is, you must live your destiny. You must follow your destiny. You see, Maat's husband, Maat's mate, is Tahuti. Because Maat doesn't mean anything without Tahuti. Maat is the law. Tahuti is the measure of the law. Tahuti says, this is how we must apply the law. And then if you violate the law and you are confirmed wrongdoer according to Tahuti, Maat then sends the God of justice to enforce the law. Harukahuti, who engages in war. So you must understand that this primitive way of thinking that these Christians have, they come along and the pimp pastor ministers on the pulpit, you must do good. You must live according to the 10 Commandments. No. You shouldn't be stealing in the first place. Your divine nature is connected to source energy. It is connected to Nater, Nebecher, Lord of the world, Lord of the universe. You intuitively should know not to steal, not to harm others. You get no extra points for that. You're not, you think you're doing this extracurricular activity and you're going to get rewarded for that, for doing good. No, you're not. But you must learn to live truth. And what is the truth? What is the truth? You must live your destiny. Maat is relational thinking. Maat doesn't think isolated in a silo. That's Sebek, segregated thinking. Maat is synthesis. Maat tells us that there's no evil in the world, that everything serves to further. Tahuti tells us, do not place names, labels, and definition on things. Those are illusions. Those create separation and division. Tahuti tells us nothing has a quality in and of itself. Maat says, you must keep your heart still to live truth. Because when the heart is excited and is beating, you become emotional. You become the animal spirit. And therefore, you get triggered easy. You become a mass consumer. You become emotional. You can't think clearly. Your IQ is lowered. Yes, emotions, I lower the IQ, emotionalism. The ruling elite know this. This is why they try to kick you into overdrive, kick your emotions into overdrive. That's why they have antennas in minority communities where they pump out low vibrational sonic frequencies to agitate you, get you emotional, so you can have what they call as black on black crime, shootings, and things like that. But I digress. So those women who walk around calling themselves Ma'at and they have just a cursory understanding of what Ma'at is, I am starting this book club so that we can get into the depth and the breadth of what Ma'at is. We can understand, overstand, and understand her. Get to the heart of the matter. Get it? Heart? Ma'at? Heart? Okay, never mind. Forget it. So the first book we're going to go over in the book club is Maat, the 11 Laws of God. And this book is phenomenal. Now, there are other books I wanted to tackle, but the reason why I'm going over this book, of course, is my mother, Maat. Many individuals have bought this book and they've contacted me and they said, I've read this book and I don't understand it. It's a little over my head. I said, don't worry. I'm going to start a book club and we're going to go through it and I'm going to break the principles and concepts down. And the one thing that this book is so great about, it takes you up the tree of life, the Kemetic tree of life, the Port Neteru, or the company of the gods. And what it does is it takes you to each deity, each sphere, and it goes over their truism. Every deity has a truism that you must commit to memory. Those are the 11 laws of God. That's truth. And when you commit those to memory, you take them into trance meditation and commit those to memory. It will help you and assist you to live truth. And one of the truisms that I love most is Tahuti. Nothing has a quality in and of itself. Nothing has a quality in and of itself. And I try to practice that and live that on a daily basis by not saying, this is bad, this is good. No, I'm not placing a label on that. And the NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, or the trick that we practice is this. We understand the division between the self and the person being the Sahu animal nature, the self being your divine presence, Oser. So when I want to say, I don't like that, I say my person doesn't like that, but myself has no likes or dislikes. When this woman gets on my nerve, I say, that woman upsets my person, but not my true self. You must understand that that language that you use is very powerful, because the way you express it gets you to identify with an aspect. And too many times in this world, we identify with the animal spirit. And then we forget who we are. We forget we're gods and goddesses. And we start thinking we're human. We start thinking we are the physical body. We're the conditionings. We're the emotions. We are not. We're so much better than that. So this book will be the first one in our book club, Maat, the 11 Laws of God. And if you want to partake in this, it is going to be on Patreon. So you must be a Patreon supporter. Keep that in mind. And this book is something that every person, family should have in their library, to be honest with you. It is a phenomenal book that breaks down the divisions of your spirit, breaks down who you are, what your purpose is, what the laws, the truisms are of your spirit. These are not man-made laws. The Ten Commandments are man-made laws. They're for neophytes. But this book is for high spiritual aspiration. It's trying to teach you the knowledge of 10,000 years from our ancestors who explored the duat, who explored the afterlife, who have astral projected and traveled the stars. And they have brought back this wisdom for us and encapsulated in this book, Maat, the 11 Laws of God. Phenomenal book. So the book club, the first meeting will start Thursday, October 1st. Thursday is Maat's day, ruled by the planet Jupiter, Maat's planet, a very expansive planet, the biggest planet in our solar system. Maat is the goddess of abundance. Maat is the goddess of expansion. So if you're looking for wealth, you go to her. Real, abundant wealth, go to her. And as I said, the ancient Kemetic people did not have what we call as a religion. Religion meaning to tie back to. They had a spirituality, a way of life that did not come from dogma, adhering to a set of rules and regulations, adhering to a set of sermons or proverbs and things of that nature. They knew how to intuit knowledge and wisdom coming from the Akashic records, coming from Tahuti Thoth himself, to bring that down so everybody could be the exact likeness of God. That was the Pharaoh's aspiration, and that was the individuals who were in Kemet, the citizens of Kemet, was to raise their spiritual vibration to become the likeness of God. This was not the exclusivity of a minister or a pimp pastor who claimed to know more about the book than you. This information was for the population so they could grow and understand, and they could end the cycle of rebirth or incarnation, because when you can end that cycle, the only way to end that cycle is to become Osir, to become God, and then you become an honored ancestor, and you can stay in the ether, or you can come back to earth and guide souls to truth and righteousness. Okay? So I want you to understand the importance of this first book in our Maat Book Club. And if you're not, as I said before, a member of Patreon, join up, support us. And in working through the book and working through the chapters, you will gain so much knowledge and wisdom on the right path for yourself and your family. You'll see the ills of society, and you'll seek not to participate in that. You'll say to yourself, let me step back from that. Maybe once I was involved in that, but no more, because I now have a great understanding of life through Maat. She has turned my life around. She has made me see truth. You see, the feather of Maat is placed on the scale, on one side of the scale, and then your heart is placed on the other side. And your heart must weigh lighter than a feather, because you must go through life not heavy-hearted, not attached to anything, not emotional over anything. You must be centered. You must be Oser, who is the great judge. Because only a man or a woman who has transcended the emotions and become still and centered can be a judge. Because they cannot be influenced by emotion. They cannot be swayed. They cannot be bribed. This is why Oser is a mummy, personified as a mummy. You understand? He's still. He is the great judge, presiding in the hall of Maat, which when we pass on, we go into that hall to determine our next life and where we will go from there. And you will recite the 42 admonitions or negative confessions. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. If you don't have the book, you can get it on Amazon.com and other bookstores. Get the book. You have about a week and a half or so before we have the first meeting on Thursday, October 1st of the book club to go over this book. And you should be able to read it pretty quickly, or you can read it. You can go over the chapters with me during the book club. It's not a very dense. It's not very a lot of pages, but it is kind of dense and packed full of good information. Okay, so I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. And if you get an opportunity, donate to the channel. I believe that YouTube has still demonetized us for speaking truth to power. So your donations would be appreciated. This is Maat Keperu, son of Maat and Tahuti. My aunt is the beautiful goddess Heteru. And until my next broadcast, Amen Ra.